Ngayon pong umaga, please allow me to share with you the Pag-Ibig Fund Housing Loan Programs and the Countryside Housing Initiative. So ngayon pong umaga ating pag-uusapan ang iba't ibang housing loan purposes, the members' eligibility requirements, the salient features of our programs, the reforms that we introduce in our housing loan programs to make home financing more accessible to you, our members. We hope po at the end of our webinar today, you will be updated, encouraged, and will finally decide to pursue your home of home ownership po through Pag-Ibig Fund. So under our Pag-Ibig Fund Housing Loan Program, we would like to inform everybody that the maximum loanable amount of Pag-Ibig Fund po is now at 6 million pesos. It will just depend lang po sa parameters, the actual need of the member, the capacity to pay of the member, and the appraisal of the property. Whichever po is the lowest, that will be your approved loan with Pag-Ibig Fund. So speaking po of lowest, unlike before po that the interest rate of the housing loan will depend on the amount that you will apply. Now, the interest po will be depend po sa ating pong fixing period, sa pipiliin pong fixing period ng ating pong mga housing loan borrowers. So, we leave it up to our housing loan members or housing loan borrowers kung ano po ang kanilang fixing period na pipiliin with corresponding interest rate. So, ang tanong po siguro ng karamihan sa atin ngayon, why should you choose Pag-Ibig Fund as your financing partner? Bakit nga po ba Pag-Ibig Fund? Number one, we offer the longest repayment term. Ang loan term po na ino-offer po ng Pag-Ibig Fund po is 30 years to pay. It will just depend lang po sa age ng ating mga members kung kaya niyo po i-maximize yung 30 years na loan term. Ang effect po ng longer repayment term, more affordable po ang ating magiging monthly amortization with Pag-Ibig Fund. Aside from that, Pag-Ibig Fund also allows you, our members, to pay your in advance po sa ating principal balance. So we allow accelerated payments para po sa inyong mga housing loans. So unlike other financing institutions po that you need to wait for your anniversary month or anniversary date of your loans para po makapag-advance po kayo sa inyong principal balance, ang Pag-Ibig Fund po, anytime, pwede po kayo mag-advance sa principal balance. The only requirement lang po is that the amount that you will advance is equal or more than your regular amortization po, yun po yung pwede nating i-advance sa ating outstanding balance. So, if you have bonuses, if you have extra cash, pwede nyo pong directly na po ito ibayad sa ating pong mga principal balance. Ang epekto po nito, mas umiikli po yung taon ng inyo pong pagbabayad sa inyo pong mga housing loan. Aside from that, Pag-Ibig Fund allows pre-termination of your housing loan without requiring you po to pay the unearned or supposed to be would-be interest. Kaya kung halimbawa po, your original term is 30 years to pay, pero bigla po kayo nagkaroon ng pera para ma-fully pay po ang inyong mga housing loan sa Pag-Ibig Fund, you just go to our office and request for computation po of your outstanding balance that day. So wala pong would-be interest or the unearned interest na ipapataw po sa inyo ang Pag-Ibig Fund. So kung fully pay nyo po siya on that day, hanggang dun lang po yung interest po na ma-charge po sa atin or i-charge po sa atin rather by Pag-Ibig Fund. Aside from that, we would like to also inform everybody po regarding the multiple loans. Kung dati po ang Pag-Ibig Fund, kailangan po nating i-fully pay muna yung existing na loan po natin bago po tayo mag-avail ng another housing loan. Under our new program, we allow multiple housing loan. Ang requirement lang po dapat, kaya po dapat ng ating capacity to pay at hindi po lalagpas sa 6 million ang total na magiging obligation po ng ating mga housing loan borrowers. So if you are currently contemplating kung mag-housing loan po ba kayo dito sa NCR ngayon because you're living po sa regions, pwede po kayo mag-housing loan dito po sa NCR. Then later on po, kung kaya pa rin po ng inyong capacity to pay, pwede pa rin kayong mag-avail ng another housing loan kung kayo po ay umuwi na po sa ating hometown. Yan. At the same time, Pag-Ibig Fund also allows TAC loans. When we say TAC loans, kung hindi po kaya ng ating principal borrower yung kanyang plan na i-loan sa kanya pong capacity to pay, pwede po siyang kumuha ng hanggang 2 co-borrowers. So yun po yung kaganda sa Pag-Ibig Fund because we want you, our members po, na talagang as much as possible makuha po natin or magawa ng paraan para makuha po natin yung ating mga dream homes. So kung income ang concern natin, pwede po natin kuning co-borrowers, ang ating pong mga asawa, ang inyo pong mga anak, or ang inyo pong kapatid or magulang. At ito po ang maganda, no? Kung talaga pong wala na po tayong pwedeng kunin na ibang co-borrower, Pag-Ibig Fund now allows co-borrowers that are non-related. So pwede na po yan, provided po, no, kailangan po tayong dumaan sa loan counseling para po explain ng Pag-Ibig Fund po sa atin ang mga pros and cons ng pagkuha po ng co-borrower na non-related. Isa po dito sa magiging resulting na ano po dito, pagka kumuha po tayo ng co-borrowers na non-related, they will become title holder din po of the property. Now we proceed, no? Where can you use or what can you buy with a Pag-Ibig housing loan? Kanina po nakita ko ang dami pong mga tanong po sa chat box natin. Ano ba yung mga loan purposes na pwede i-avail sa Pag-Ibig Fund? So number 1 po, pwede ho tayong bumili ng lote and Pag-Ibig Fund will be your financing partner. At ang kagandahan din po dito, the residential lot that you will avail, hindi po namin kayo ililimit sa isang property lang. If there are adjoining lots that's for sale and you're willing to purchase it all po, at kaya po ng inyong capacity to pay, then you can apply it all po sa Pag-Ibig Fund. So aside from the purchase of fully developed lot, pwede rin po kami mag-finance ng residential house and lot, townhouse, condominium unit. Ngayon po, no, meron na rin po tayong loan purpose inclusive of parking slot. So sa mga aspiring condominium unit owners po natin na gustong i-finance po via Pag-Ibig Fund ang inyong pong mga pagbili, pwede nyo na pong isabay din ang pagbili po ng inyong mga parking slot kasabay po ng inyong pagbili po ng condominium units. So ang kagandahan din po, no, sa purchase of residential unit, hindi po kami limitado lang po, no, sa mga ready inventories po ng ating mga accredited developers. So pwede po kayong bumili ng mga property po na existing na. For example, property po ng inyong magulang, property po ng inyong kakilala, at ibinibenta po, ito po ay titulado at residential ang classification, you can apply it po for financing sa Pag-Ibig Fund. Another loan purpose po na pwedeng i-consider or i-avail po ng ating mga housing loan borrower or ng ating mga members, pwede po kayo mag-apply for house construction loan. So if you have a property, if you have a titled property, clean title po, nakapangalan po sa inyo or sa inyo po mag-asawa, pwede po kayo mag-apply for a house construction loan na kung saan po ang Pag-Ibig Fund po will be your partner for the financing po of the improvement po sa inyong property. Aside from that, pwede rin po mag-finance ang Pag-Ibig Fund for the improvement of your house. Currently, the house po is one story, then you want to improve it, lagyan po ng second floor, third floor, palagyan po ng bagong tiles, palagyan ng bagong kisame, pwede niyo pong i-apply po yan via Pag-Ibig Housing Loan Program. So, kung halimbawa naman po, no, baka po meron tayong mga nakikinig po ngayon sa ating audience po or sa ating mga attendees na yung titulo po is nakapangalan, hindi po sa kanila nakapangalan, pero nakapangalan po sa kanilang mga magulang. So Pag-Ibig Fund also considers that po, pwede po yan gamiting collateral, yung mga titles po na nakapangalan sa ating mga magulang. Ang kailangan lang pong gawin ng ating pong mga magulang is to execute a special power of attorney authorizing you to mortgage po the property po to use as your collateral. Another loan purpose po, no, na pwede po yung explore. Kanina po may nakita rin po ko sa ating chat box, refinance of an existing loan. Yes, we have that kind of loan purpose. Pwede pong currently nasa isang financing institution or lending institution ang inyo pong existing loan. Pwede po namin yan i-refinance. Ang basic requirement lang po is that meron na po tayong at least 6 months na perfect repayment history because we want to establish a track record po. How are you paying po as an existing housing loan borrower po dun sa current lending institution po na nandun po tayo ngayon. So aside from this loan purposes po, we have combined loan purposes. Baka meron po tayong mga kasamahan ngayon na meron po kayong nakitang lote at gusto nyo rin pong doon ipatayo na rin po yung inyong mga bahay. So we have combined loan purpose po na tinatawag nating purchase of lot plus construction of house. Pwede rin po ang purchase of residential unit plus isasabay nyo na rin po yung home improvement loan. So those are the combined loan purposes po that you may consider po as Pag-Ibig Fund member. Next slide please. The next thing po siguro na tatanungin natin, sino ang pwede mag-apply? How to apply? What's the requirements? Anong eligibility requirements ba sa Pag-Ibig Fund? So very basic lang po ang requirement po natin para makapag-apply po kayo for Pag-Ibig home financing. Number one, kayo po dapat ay active member ng Pag-Ibig Fund. Active member na meron pong at least 24 months na po na savings with Pag-Ibig. Kung ang ilan po sa atin na nakikinig ay wala pa pong 24 months sa kanilang contribution or membership po with us, ang kagandahan po ngayon, Pag-Ibig Fund now allows lump sum payment po of the remaining months para mabuo nyo po yung 24 months natin or mabuo yung kapupunan po ng 24 months. So in that case po, the following month, kailangan nyo lang po magbayad ulit ng regular contribution po na 200 pesos. So halimbawa, let's have a quick example. 12 months ka na pong miyembro sa Pag-Ibig Fund. Ang sabi ko po is 24 months ang requirement. Kailangan nyo lang pong bayaran yung remaining 12 months. Lump sum, bayad po yan ngayong October para po ma-evaluate na po namin kayo for a housing loan. Another requirement lang po na dapat nating tingnan is that you should not be more than 65 years old at the date of loan application. And it's not more than 70 years old at the date of loan maturity. Para po sa mga members po natin na ang edad po ay 18 years old up to 40 years old, you can maximize the loan term po to 30 years to pay. Pero kung ang edad po natin ay 40 years old and above, you just need to subtract your present age po sa 70 years. Kasi po kailangan at age 70, fully paid po ang inyong mga housing loan with Pag-Ibig Fund. Another requirement din po is that kailangan meron tayong legal capacity to acquire and encumber real property in the Philippines. So kailangan po ma-establish natin that you have a regular source of income because ito po yung magiging reference po natin, documented source of income because this will be our reference po when we evaluate po your capacity to pay. Kaya po importante po kailangan if you're employed po, we will be requiring lang po a certificate of employment with compensation. And para po sa mga kasamahan po natin ngayon na nakikinig from government agencies, we will be requiring din po the certified one-month payslip because we need to check the GAA or we need to observe po the GAA requirement na 5,000 pesos po na net take-home pay natin. And aside from that, kailangan din po tayong tingnan wala po dapat tayong housing loan na foreclosed, canceled, bought back, or voluntarily surrendered. So gusto ko lang po itong bigyan ng further explanation. If you have meritorious reasons po, bakit po na-foreclose ang inyong mga accounts at na-cancel ang inyong mga accounts, pwede po kayo po mismo ay nagkasakit or pwede rin po kayo po mismo ay nawalan ng trabaho during that time and this can be documented. You can request for reconsideration and this is subject po for approval of our management. So titingnan po natin kung valid po yung mga reasons po na inyo pong nailatag. And lastly, if we have an existing Pag-Ibig housing loan or short-term loan or multi-purpose loan, our only requirement po is for you to just update po your existing loans po with Pag-Ibig Fund. Next slide, please. So now we proceed with the low interest rates. So effective July to December 2021, flash on your screens po are the available interest rates po na pwede po nating pagpilian together with the corresponding fixing period. So ano po bang difference po ng fixing period at ang loan term? Pagka po sinabi nating loan term, this is the years kung gaano po nating katagal babayaran ang ating pong housing loan sa Pag-Ibig Fund. Pagka naman po sinabi nating fixing period, ito po yung taon kung saan hindi po magbabago yung ating taunang interest. So if I will choose a 3-year fixing period po, my interest rate po for the next coming 3 years annually will be at 6.25% per annum. So next slide please. So we'll just show you po sa ating pong screen ngayon, here's a sample computation. Marami po siguro sa ating ngayon na nag-isip na wag kano ba yung pwedeng amortization dyan at wag kano ang income requirement. By the way, speaking of income requirement po, ang Pag-Ibig Fund po now looks at your gross monthly income. In our previous guidelines po, nakatingin pa po kami sa net disposable income or yung net take-home pay ng ating member when we evaluate po their capacity to pay. Pero under our new guidelines po, Pag-Ibig Fund looks at your gross monthly income. So gross monthly income, mas malaking gross monthly income, mas malaki po ang resulting na a loanable amount in terms of your capacity to pay. So kindly take note lang po, no, just like to give emphasis for our government employees po na nakikinig po ngayon, kailangan po natin i-observe ang 5,000 pesos na net take-home pay upon deducting po the would-be amortization sa ating pong mga payslip po. Yan. So for presentation purposes po, this table po is based on a 30-year loan term. Ang fixing period po na ginamit po natin dito is 3 years with interest rate of 6.25% per annum. So as you can see on your screen, if a member will avail of a loan for 1,250,000 pesos, the required gross monthly income lang po nitong ating mga member na mag-avail ng 1.250 million, it's only 21,989.5 pesos or basically 22,000 pesos gross monthly income. At ang amortization or estimated monthly amortization po ng ating pong housing loan borrower or prospect housing loan borrower is only at 7,696.47 pesos. So ganyan lang po, no, ka-affordable para lang po tayong umuupa or siguro po sa iba nga pong lugar baka mas mababa pa po ito, no, kaysa po sa pagrenta. So let me please allow me din po to take this opportunity rin po to share with you regarding our basis po ng computation ng penalties. Unlike with other financing institutions po or lending institutions, pagka po hindi tayo nakapagbayad ng ating due or yung amount due to be paid po sa kanila, the basis of their computation po will be the outstanding balance. So dito po sa case natin kanina sa 1.250, this is the outstanding balance. Dito po nagbabase ang ilang lending institutions when they compute for your penalties. But with Pag-Ibig Fund po, kung kayo po ay hindi, halimbawa pong hindi nakapagbayad ng inyong monthly amortization, the basis of our penalty computation will be based on the unpaid amount, which is the monthly amortization po na 7,696 pesos. So yun po yung isa sa malaking pagkakaiba po natin sa ibang lending institution. Kaya po ito ay tulong sa ating mga miyembro because Pag-Ibig Fund po is here for sustainability po, not profitability. So kaya po kung meron po kayong mga ibang desired loan amount na hindi po nakikita po ngayon sa inyong screen, you can also check po our website. So yung mga kasamahan ko po, no, na lingkod Pag-Ibig service team will chat it po in our chat box right now. Yung link po na dapat niyo pong i-click para po makita niyo po, no, yung desired kung if you wish to compute for your desired loan amount, the gross monthly income and the estimated monthly amortization. So please check po our housing loan affordable calculator. Next slide, please. So now we proceed with the affordable housing loan programs of Pag-Ibig Fund, housing loan program of Pag-Ibig Fund. So this program was specifically designed to cater the need of our minimum wage earners. Sabi nga po, sa Pag-Ibig Fund, walang imposibleng pangarap. Kaya nga po, this program po was created because a minimum wage earner member of Pag-Ibig Fund can avail of a loan of up to 750,000 pesos. At ang kagandahan po rito, we subsidize, Pag-Ibig Fund subsidize interest rate. So through the tax savings po, no, na nakuha po ng Pag-Ibig Fund, ito po ay kailangan ibalik po muli natin sa ating mga members through a form of tax subsidy. So kaya po ang ginagawa natin ngayon ay nag-subsidize po tayo ng interest rate for our minimum wage earners through the tax savings. Next slide, please. Wag kanong interest rate. Ito po, napaka good news po, no? Good news to our minimum wage earners. Ang interest rate lang po na ipapataw or i-charge ng Pag-Ibig Fund para po sa ating mga housing loan borrowers na mga minimum wage earners. Paano po natin masasabi na sila po ay minimum wage earners? If they are working in NCR, hindi po dapat lalagpas sa 15,000 pesos ang kanila pong buwanang kinikita or ang kanilang gross monthly income. Again, 15,000 pesos or 1.5, okay? Kung sila naman po ay nagtatrabaho sa regions, ang kanila pong dapat na kinikita or ang kanilang gross monthly income ay hindi po dapat lalagpas ng 12,000 pesos per month. At kung ganito po ang kanila pong gross monthly income requirement at sila po ay maglo-loan ng hindi po lalagpas sa 580,000 pesos, ang kanila pong magiging buwanang hulog lang po sa Pag-Ibig Fund ay nasa 2,445 pesos 0.3. At itong interest rate po niya is only 3%. So wala pa ho napakababa po nitong interest rate na ino-offer po natin para po sa ating mga minimum wage earners. Kindly take note lang po that this computation po is based on a 30-year loan term. Basta po kayo ng edad nyo, pwede nyo pong i-maximize the 30 years ang inyong loan term po, no, sa Pag-Ibig Fund. Next slide, please. Now, ang kagandahan din po, no, another good news that we want to share with you, our future housing loan borrowers. Lahat po kayo na maglo-loan sa Pag-Ibig Fund ng housing loan, you will be covered by Mortgage Redemption Insurance or MRI. Na kung saan po, no, kung halimbawa po mamatay, o wag naman po sana, pero kung sakali pong mamatay ang ating pong mga housing loan borrowers, wala po siyang utang na iiwanan sa kanya pong mga beneficiaries, provided lang po na updated ang kanila pong mga housing loan sa Pag-Ibig Fund. That's why we give emphasis po na dapat updated po, no, ang ating mga hulog sa Pag-Ibig Fund. Aside from that, the new insurance provider po of Pag-Ibig Fund also give additional features po aside dun sa basic na kung halimbawa pong namatay po yung ating mga housing loan borrowers. Meron po tayong tinatawag na burial benefit na 26,000 na pwedeng ma-enjoy ng beneficiaries po ng ating housing loan borrower. Aside from that, meron din po tayong wake assistance na 4,000 pesos. And this is very new. The effects of total permanently disabled. Kung dati po requirement para ma-fully pay ang loan, kailangan po is mamatay or mamatay po ang ating mga housing loan borrower. Now, if the borrower will be declared as totally permanently disabled, and this will be established po, no, ma-establish po talaga natin, the beneficiaries may apply for full payment po of their of the housing loan po of the member. Aside from that, kung meron po tayong meron mga housing loan borrower po na categorized po as terminally ill na po siya. So there will be an amortization support of 18 months po that will be provided po by the insurance broker. So hindi po ito cash na ibibigay sa ating mga housing loan borrower, but this will, instead of the housing loan borrower paying it, it will be the insurance provider. But please, there's a documentation po, no, that we need to prepare regarding this. This is not automatic. So if meron po mga ganito pagkakataon na wala na po yung ating housing loan borrower, namatay na po siya, please advise, let your beneficiaries po, no, proceed to our offices po para ma-inform po ang Pag-Ibig Fund. Next slide, please. Aside from the MRI, we would like to also inform you that hindi lang po yung borrower natin ang ini-insure. Even the properties po na ilo-loan po sa Pag-Ibig Fund, it will be covered by insurance. So we have fire and allied perils insurance. So just in case po of a force majeure, nalindol, nasunog, or binaha yung inyong mga properties, or even po any force majeure po, no, na nangyari po sa inyong mga properties at may na-damage po, you can file for a claim po sa ating pong insurance provider. So yun po yung kagandahan. Last po, no, before I proceed to the next slide, how much po ang sinacharge namin sa MRI natin? It's only 0.225 cents per 1,000. Or kung maglo-loan po kayo ng 1 million pesos, we are only charging 225 pesos per month para po sa 1 million po na housing loan. Ganun lang po kababa yung premium charge po ng Pag-Ibig Fund. Next slide, please. So we proceed with the housing loan requirements. What are the requirements? Basic po, no? Basically from 14 requirements po that we are requiring our housing loan borrowers, we have reduced it to 7 requirements. The application form, it's downloadable po in our portal. The proof of income, kailangan lang po nating establish ano po ba yung source of income nyo. Kayo po ba ay locally employed, OFWs, self-employed? So lahat po yan meron tayong specific na mga checklist of requirements po for proof of income. We will just be requiring photocopy lang po ng inyong ID at ang ID po ng inyong asawa, even the ID po of your seller. And ang kagandahan po din po ngayon, ano, we will only be requiring lang po for the meantime, the photocopy po of the title upon during evaluation of your loan. Okay, during evaluation of your housing loan, we will just be requiring lang po for the meantime, the photocopies of the title, transfer certificate of titles, or kung ito po ay condominium unit, we will be requiring po the photocopy of the certificate of condominium certificate of title, and tax declaration, tax receipt, visibility map po, and next slide please. And for purchase of residential unit, kailangan lang din po natin magkaroon po kayo ng agreement ang inyong seller. Kung house construction naman po, we will be requiring the building plans, specifications, bill of materials po, duly signed by your licensed civil engineer architect. And kung refinancing po ang inyong housing loan with Pag-Ibig Fund, we will be requiring the latest statement of account on the outstanding balance duly signed by the manager po. Official receipt and subsidiary ledger. Next slide, please. Now, kung dati po madali nang magbayad sa Pag-Ibig Fund ng inyong mga housing loan, ngayon mas pinadali pa po natin. We have accredited several payment partners para po mas mapadali po natin or mas mapalapit po sa ating mga members po at hindi po sila mahirapan ng kanilang pagbabayad ng kanilang mga monthly amortization. So we have virtual Pag-Ibig. Pwede rin po mag-issue ng post-dated checks ang ating po mga housing loan borrowers. Good for 1 year, annual issuance of PDC. Pwede rin po through salary deduction ang kanila pong maging mode of payment if your company allows po or has a collection servicing agreement with Pag-Ibig Fund. Meron din po tayong mga collection partners and online payment facilities, and we also have auto debit arrangement with our partner banks. So sino-sino po ito? Next slide please. So we have ang mga partners po natin ngayon, we have Bayad Center, GCash, Save More, BPI. Ayan po, naka-flash po sa inyong screen and you can screenshot it po for your reference. Next slide please. Now, just for you para meron po kayong i-look forward po sa inyong mga magiging housing loan. So we have launched this home equity appreciation loan program kung saan po we want you, our members, to really maximize po the value of your home po. Because we believe po kung ang inyo pong mga housing loan borrower, let's say magkaroon na po ng at least 5 years na po kayong merong existing loan with Pag-Ibig Fund, and yung last year nyo po is regularly paying po kayo, you can apply again for another housing loan with us. Kaya po, kung meron po kayong mga kakilala, kasamahan, kapamilya po na meron ng loans, existing housing loans with Pag-Ibig Fund, at meron na po silang at least 5 years na po na naguhulog sa Pag-Ibig Fund na kanilang amortization, please let them know of this program. And this program po will be thoroughly discussed by in our succeeding webinars po. So we hope po to see you again po sa ating mga succeeding webinars. Okay, next slide please. Now, this is the last topic po that I'll be presenting this morning, the Countryside Housing Initiative. So kung meron po tayong mga employers po na kasamahan ngayon, mga local government units na kasamahan, provincial government, national agencies po na kasamahan po ngayon na nakikinig na ating webinar series, we have introduced po to you the Countryside Housing Initiative of Pag-Ibig Fund. Because we believe po, Pag-Ibig Fund realized po that there are areas that are still unserved and underserved. Pwede pong areas or even Pag-Ibig Fund members po. There are instances po na kaya po ng capacity to pay ng ating mga housing loan borrower or members ang meron po silang capacity to pay. However, there are no available inventories in the market. There are instances naman po na baliktad. Meron pong available inventories in the market. Unfortunately, hindi po kaya ng capacity to pay ng target beneficiaries. So through this Countryside Housing Initiative, next slide please. We encourage participation po of developers and non-developers. Katulad po nung na-mention ko po kanina, the LGUs, the cooperatives, NGAs, employers, institutions that you want to have a housing project po for your employees or constituents. So baka you can consider this po, this Countryside Housing Initiative of Pag-Ibig Fund. Why? Because the aim of this initiative of Pag-Ibig Fund is to provide affordable yet superior housing units than those that being usually offered po in the market. Bakit po natin ito pwedeng magawa? Because Pag-Ibig Fund and you, the proponent po, will be there na po on the outset. We will consider na po, we will evaluate, we will check, we will pre-qualify the capacity to pay of your target beneficiaries. At yun po yung pwede nating gawing package po, housing package for your envisioned dream project. At the same time, we provide our chief partners technical assistance. So ang kagandahan din po dito sa ating Countryside Housing Initiative, since alam po namin na these are non-developers, most of them are non-developers and not really into housing project, hindi po ito yung turf nila, Pag-Ibig Fund will be there to assist you to pre-qualify your target beneficiaries as well as to train your project documentation team. And kung kailangan po talaga ng assistance with other agencies from Pag-Ibig Fund will be there to assist you po to facilitate the project implementation of your envisioned housing project. Now, next slide, please. For the implementation options, we have listed 5 implementation options. Number 1, we have the project proponent initiated. So we have we will go through this very quickly para lang po makita po natin anong option ako pwedeng applicable. Yung aking company ngayon saan fit po siya, what implementation option. So number one, we have the project proponent initiated. Under this option, kayo po ang may housing need. The proponent has the housing need para po sa kanyang mga empleyado at constituents. Siya rin po ay may pag-aaring lote at siya po ay may technical capability. If this is your case right now, so we may explore this option, the project proponent initiated. Kung halimbawa naman po, under option 2, you have the market at meron po kayong loteng pag-aari. However, you don't have the technical capability to undertake a housing project, then you can explore po, we can explore the joint venture agreement with developer contractor. Another option po is the tripartite agreement. Under this option, wala po kayong loteng pag-aari, wala rin po kayong technical capability and financial capability to undertake a housing project. What you only have po is the market or housing need po para po sa inyong mga empleyado or constituents. So what can we do? We can explore this partnership, the tripartite agreement or option 3. Number 4, the project proponent seeks partnership with developers. Under this option po, proponent seeks partnership with developers to acquire the land, develop the site, and construct the units. So actually, ang tawag din po namin dito kung minsan ay home matching program or the needs matching program. Kasi po kung minsan, ito po yung mga proponents po na meron na silang na land bank at naghahanap sila ng mga employer or institution that wishes to have a housing project po for their employees. So we may explore this. Not only with our accredited developers, you might be wanting to explore din po no, for groups, for employers po, our group sale, our acquired assets po, no, that we give really big discounts po. And ito po is i-discuss po ng ating next speaker sa next week, in our succeeding webinar next week. And last but not the least, the compliance of developer po to balance housing requirement. I think this is most applicable po sa ating mga kasamahan po ngayon na nasa LGUs or local government units. You might want to explore this option din po because there are provision po sa circular ng HLURB po that says na kung yung main project ng developer, the compliance po niya, the socialized housing compliance should be also be done sa inyo pong sa inyong main subdivision, sa inyong pong main city. So yun po yung will help you to address the housing backlog po ng inyo pong city or ng inyo pong mga municipality. Next slide, please. So yan, if you wish to set po an appointment with us, so feel free po no to contact our housing relationship officers, Ms. Veronica Florendo, at and email them at vbflorendo@pagibigfund.gov.ph or Mr. Joel Prado at jiprado@pagibigfund.gov.ph. Next slide, please. So should you have questions about your benefits of being Pag-Ibig Fund member, so feel free po no, to contact us via this service channels at 8Pag-Ibig or 8724-4244 or email us at contact@pagibigfund.gov.ph or chat with us at www.pagibigfund.gov.ph or you can also check our FB page at /Pag-Ibig official page. Next slide, please. Muli po, no, ako po si Engineer Richard M. Roque, your lingkod Pag-Ibig. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.